Cada vez que yo me encuentro solo, me pongo a pensar en ti, mi amor. Down in the baby, what a thrill. Mama nice, mama nice. Mama nice, mama nice. Mama nice, mama nice. Mama nice, mama nice.
Tejano TV presents. It's the Three Amigos Show! Starring Big Daddy D. Burleson, the Midnight Cowboy Marcus Daniels, and the Big Kahuna Juan Mendoza. Tonight's special guest, Chente Barrera. Brought to you by Mas Chingon Radio, LilaLisaPromotions.com. Musician Danny Farias. Marazul Tequila. Taste the new face of tequila. Archie's Homestyle Burgers in Cotulla, Texas. The Tejano Conjunto Music Superstore, Janie's Record Shop, and Tejano TV. And now, let's get on with the show.
Oh my Lord! Oh my Lord!
Hey, I wanted Chente to recognize me, man. I haven't seen him in a while.
That's the only way he's gonna recognize you.
Yeah.
Oh man, we'll get into that here in a little bit. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us here on this Wednesday night. We're on Tejano TV, and of course, we're on Facebook and YouTube. And of course, we want to thank our sponsors, my baby Lila Cervantes with Lila Leaf Promotions, Archie's Homestyle Burger here in Cotulla, Texas, Danny Farias, and Marazul Tequila, the new
Marazul!
Tequila. And of course, our new sponsor out there in San Antonio, Janie's Record Shop. Thank you so much for joining us. We are here. I am El Guy, Juan Mendoza.
And I'm the Demonator or Destructor. Sorry.
Marcus, the Midnight Mariachi.
Nice.
Yeah, please.
There you go.
And in this corner we have crickets.
Crickets.
Oh, we got a cricket.
I was just trying to do the Brady Bunch thing. I was like, it's over here.
You guys are going to have to forgive
My
me.
name is Chente Barrera, and I'm just proud to be here on the Three Amigos show here on
All right.
radio. And
Right.
Yes, sir.
Finally,
Right on.
Man,
We're gonna have to edit the little pause in between
The silence.
the silence.
Hey, man,
Chente.
you guys are going to have to forgive me, but I'm going to be fanboy all night tonight, man, because I've known this guy forever, and he's just one of the most amazing musicians ever conceived, man. I'll tell you that right now. 16 years old is when this guy, he started studio sessions, 16 years old at Manny Music.
yeah, it was a little before that, but when I got to Manny, man, I met all you guys, and you know, I was playing with La Tropa back in the day before, you know, I was there when they went from Los Hermanos Farias to Tropa F. You know, because, you know, Manny being the genius that he was, you know, he said, look, there's Hermanos bands all day long, you know, and if you guys want to get commercial, you need to change the name to La Tropa F, because that name, we got it from this guy named Plácido Salazar, right? And he's the one that would say, because he, you know, the F troop from back then,
Yeah.
right? So he said La Tropa F, and it just stuck. So Manny was like, that's the name. And then later on, of course, in the 90s, you know, the big boom in the 90s. You remember the 90s, D?
He's still living in the 90s right now.
Híjole, chinga.
But yeah, man. So I mean, and then the years went on, and I decided to do some other things, and in 1993, I ended up with Jay Perez and his band, and just
Who's that?
made a bunch of noise with that, and and 1998. I was only with Jay for like 5.5 years. It seemed like I was there longer, but it just, I mean, there was a lot going on, man. I mean, and you know what, D? I remember we were in Abilene one show, and there was Jay Perez, Culturas, and I forgot I guess it was some local band that opened up, and we played at the Civic Center in Abilene, and I remember I wanted something from Whataburger, and you said, "Well, jump in the van, I'll take you." So there we are, me and you in the Culturas van with the trailer and everything with it, going to a Whataburger. And I remember we're at a stoplight, we're at a red light, and I told you go, and you just went, and it wasn't even anyway. We almost didn't make the show. Let me just say that, but we had a lot of fun, right? So
the only thing I regret, man. You know what I regret though, dude? As long as we've known each other, we have never played on the same stage together. We've never, and you are the only drummer that played the stuff I heard in my head, because I was a big fan of Ed Shaughnessy from The Tonight Show, and man, he would just kick all over the place. He would watch and he'd just kick, and there are very few drummers that do that, but you're one of those guys. When I saw you play for the first time, it was the La Vita when Jay first came out, and it's like, doggone, who is this guy? Because I knew he's Chente. There's few people that have just one name. You've got Jay, you've got Jay, Selena, Emilio, Cher, and you got Chente.
There you go.
Because you say Chente, and everybody knows who you're talking about. Let me take this off, man.
Well, going back to the 90s, man. Do you remember playing at the George R. Brown Convention?
Oh, Houston.
In Houston, and there was like 10 bands, and everybody had their own stage. They had Mafia was actually
Mafia was there. Yeah,
Mafia had their own stage, and then they had a regional Mexican stage, and they had a Tejano stage. And the Tejano stage, the only bands that were there were Culturas and Jay Perez. And I remember at the time we wanted to kick everybody's ass. So I remember Barney, our sound man.
Barney.
Yeah, okay, Barney. And then I think you guys had Kevin, and I don't know who else. We combined the sound system so that we could blow everybody away, man. And I remember that was crazy, man. We combined lights and PA and drums. I remember I set up this big old drum set, and Andy's like, well, I guess I'm using your drums.
For those of you out there who don't know who Chente is, this guy has played on more. You've heard him on every famous Tejano song there is, basically. He's played with everybody. He plays drums, he plays keyboards, he plays bajo sexto, and he sings background vocals for everybody too. And then now he stepped out front and center, and how many Grammys have you won? I lost track.
Technically 4, but I only have 1. They got lost in the mail or something.
But, you believe him? They said it's in the mail, right?
Yeah, I'm still waiting, man.
FedEx hasn't came around yet.
But and I say that because, in the Grammys, there's people that are in charge that, like they just it comes down to paperwork. You know what I mean? And if your name is not on that paperwork, well, guess what? You don't get a trophy. And the guy that played 2 songs got a trophy, but the guy that played 10 songs, well, where's my trophy at? But anyway, that's another story. But because D said we had to have fun, so I don't want to get negative.
No. This show, more than anything, is about the truth, because people, I mean, the audience sees, they see the star up there. They think the music business is all fun and games. And it's all business. It's all business, and there are upsides and there are downsides. Like, for instance, man, what do you do on your days that you're not playing, man? What do you do?
When I don't play, I try to catch up in the studio, and that's a never-ending thing. I've been trying to take out a record for the last 2 years. You get caught up, man. It's like you guys. I mean, I remember y'all's record was coming out last year sometime. I'm just saying. I mean, you just get caught up. But honestly, I deliver auto parts part-time, man.
No! So you don't have a big mansion, and you have a driver and your valet.
Oh man, I live in the projects. No, no, man. But I live out in the country. and it's great out here on a few acres, and you know out here I live in between San Antonio and Pleasanton. Okay, so I live
Oh, okay.
out in the boonies, if you will, right? South San
You
Antonio.
live in watermelon country.
There you go. So you know, how would you know that?
I was going, oh, you want to go there, you chili smoking taco bending. No, let's. I got some Mara Azul
Do you
tequila right
remember?
here, man. Come on, let's
Do
go.
you remember John B?
Yeah, I remember John B.
John B is background vocalist for Jay Pettis. He was with us for a while. He's a tax guy now, or he's always been a tax guy. But one day, uh, one day we were joking, and I don't know, and I said the N word, right? And I didn't mean it in a
What you
bad way.
said,
I just
nigga?
said it, and he turned around, and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry, bro. I didn't even know you were in the room, but I didn't mean it. You know, I'm just trying to be cool. You know,
No,
that's what
man.
everybody says now. No, you know what was weird is that I just got back from Michigan last weekend. Was it last weekend? No, the
Yeah.
weekend before that. 2 weekends ago, we were in Michigan, Lansing, Michigan, and then we did a thing in Toledo, Ohio. And all the people up there, man, that's all they say.
Yeah.
And this, and that, and this, and that. I'm looking around going, well, is it going to be the same if I say it? No, but I'm talking about Latinos. Everybody says it.
Yeah.
It's like I mean, it's just crazy, man. It's crazy.
It'll be horrible that one time you join in, everybody turns around like,
You hear the record scratch?
it's great.
No, see, I have a particular problem. I mean, people have been saying that for ages, and to ignore something gives it too much power. To say, oh, you can't say that anymore. You're giving that word power when it really doesn't mean anything. Especially when all us niggas talk together, we're just talking and we're friends, and there's nothing meant by it. So I say nigga all day long. Especially to you, Chente. I'll say nigga to you first before I'll say it to Marcus.
He does it every podcast. Every podcast.
No. Well, see, I know Chente, man. And that nigga's crazy.
Yeah. But anyway, going back to you know, for the people like you said that don't know who Chente Barrera is, you know, I started at a very young age. I was, you know, my dad. Before that, my dad used to sing in the late '70s.
David Lee Garza.
Yes, he sang with David Lee Garza before there were the musicales and before all the fame. He was right before Ram, and David Lee said on another interview that he was probably, if not the first singer, one of the first singers to record aside from him and his father. So I'm real proud of that. And then, you know, unfortunately, my dad passed away in 1984. Just he was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and so I felt that I just, you know, before he passed away, man, he just influenced me. He showed me a lot of things that I still follow today. You know, as far as advice and the do's and don'ts and whatever. And I remember he used to sit me in a room to play drums, and if I didn't play it right, he wouldn't let me go outside and play with my buddies. And I used to cry. And he would tell me, get it right, and you do what you want. And sometimes we'd be there all night. And he told me, he says, "You'll thank me later. You'll thank me later why I'm being so hard on you." You know, and you know, the tough love helped me later develop the style that you know that I got to create in
That
the
you know
studio
for.
and you know, creating music nowadays. You know, so it's crazy, but that's, you know, that's the life that I lived, and of course until he passed away. I don't know, man. I felt that I had I had to finish what he started, and so at 9 years old, I was 9 years old, and this guy by the name of Joe Martinez, he used to play with
Blue Harmony.
right. He used to play no, that's the wrong Joe Martinez.
Oh, the other Joe Martinez.
Yeah, that's another Joe Martinez. No. Joe Martinez was a sax player, keyboard player. He used to play for the band called Los Chavalitos, and then he was with the Tall Boys, Elio Quintanilla, the Tall Boys.
Yeah, Elio.
Okay, and then later on, he played with RDV, and anyway, the list goes on. But he came to the house at that time. He was playing with the Tall Boys, and he actually played with my dad when he was younger. And he says he went and talked to my mom and said, "Hey man, can Chente come play a few gigs with us? You know, our drummer, whatever happened." She says, yeah. I mean, she tells me, hey, you ready to go play like in front of people?
How old
At
were you?
9?
Then?
I was 9 years old.
How
And
old were you?
I did my first gig at St. Lawrence Parish Hall. Remember, you know where that's at,
Yeah, I know what that
right?
is.
You played there before.
Yes.
So I played
Everybody.
there, and there I am, man, playing drums with the tall boys, and they're like, hey, well, you want to play with us, throughout the summer? We got all these church festivals and weddings, quinceañeras, and it's funny because I always say this: we take a break, and all the guys would go to the bar, and I'd go to the playground.
Child labor laws, man. Child labor laws.
And then my mom would be like, Chente, they're gonna come on again, hurry up, So there I am, full of sand and whatever, and okay, let's go play. And then they would pay me at the end of the night, and I'm like, Mom, what's this for? She's like, well, that's for your pay. Well, I don't know. I mean, whatever. I mean, go buy some more GI Joes. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, that's how it went for a little. That's how it got started, and then later on, I played with a band called Los Medinas, Los Hermanos Medina, from here from San. And then I played with Los Farias
Yeah.
for a little while, and then from there I went with Tiger Diaz. From Tiger Diaz, I went to Oscar G.
Oscar G.
Okay,
Wow.
and then I went back to Tropa F. Okay, that's when the transition happened. That's when Juan Faria Tropa F. I was there for a little while, and then during that time, man, they started playing a lot. The club scene was starting to happen. The '90s were starting to kick. Clubs. I mean, you remember those days, D, when we played from Tuesday all the way to Sunday, maybe sometimes on a Monday.
Yeah.
Houston, Alice, they used to have those weird gigs, and they just were packed. I mean, what? Try that right now. I mean, hell, I don't know. But I mean, those were the glory days, the glory days of the '90s, and so then I said, Mom said, hey, you got to finish school, man. You're missing too much school. So I had to kind of leave the road for a little while to finish, to get to get a diploma, and so just because I want to do that for my mom, and so I did that. And when I did that, I got in with Bandango,
Yep.
Rick Vasquez, Bandango, orchestra and whatnot. So then there, right, coming out of my junior year, I get a call from Gilbert Velasquez, and he says, hey man, we're gonna start a band for Jay Perez. Do you wanna check it out? I said, yeah, hell yeah. So I went to this meeting, and here I see Speedy, the bass player. I see Gaby Escobedo. I see Johnny Salazar, the accordion player. The first version of the band, right? The first
Yeah.
version of the Jay Perez band. And then later on, God bless his soul, Jerry came in the band, Jerry De La Rosa.
De La Rosa.
So then we took off, and like they say, the rest is history. And then in like '98, I was doing I would always do vocal guides for several bands. When Gilbert was producing, he'd be like, "Hey man, throw a guide for this song." So I would throw a vocal guide. And one day, one of the record reps said, "Hey, who's that singing in that song?" I said, "Well, that's Chente. Chente, this guy, yeah, that guy." Well, you know what? Why don't we sign him up, man? Why don't we do? So I said, well, it's always been in the back of my head, and at that time, that's when the whole norteño phase was coming in real strong. With, we had Michael Salgado, we had Límite, we had Bobby Pulido, we had Intocable. All these guys were coming in real strong in the Tejano market, and here I am waving the Tejano flag, and it was weird because when I started my band, it was like everybody told me, "Dude, you're crazy, man. You're crazy." The ondas having shifting. It's something weird is going on. So like, for instance, one day we would open up for David Lee at Rosedale, and the next day we'd open up for Ramon Ayala in Carrizo Springs at Bears Tejano Country. You know what I mean? So uh, some people thought the first record I was really like under the gun, like, hey, well, you need to make it a little bit more Mexican regional. So I got caught in between where the Tejanos thought I was too norteño and the norteños thought I was too Tejano. So I was like, you know what, screw it, man. On the next record, I'm just gonna do what I want to do. You know what I mean? And Tejano keyboards, sax, accordion, powerhouse, uh, you know, uh, intros and that kind of thing. And that's what we did. And we took out.
There he goes. There you go.
There you go.
Plug your phone in, man.
He thought his battery died. Uh-oh, he lost audio.
And
Oh, wait. You lost audio. You can hear us, right? Yeah, we can't hear you. You have to log out and come
You're
back.
probably
in.
gonna log out and log back in again.
Okay,
All
so
right.
that's
There he goes.
Oh,
There he goes.
Never.
okay. I just hit the mic. You see, I did something right. Anyway,
It's first time it's
so,
worked.
yeah, so we started doing this thing, and then I released a record, and the song that I didn't want to be the single ended up being the single because, and I'm sure you've gone through that too, where
Paloma,
it's like,
Piquito de
you know
Oro.
what, we like the album, but we like this song better. And I'm
Which
like,
one? Paloma,
no,
Piquito de Oro.
Paloma wasn't there yet. It was
That's on the
Trompa,
sigue.
Ando Borracho. It was that one.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was that one, and that one was a cover, right? Because of that song Pulido did it in the late
Yeah, a
70s.
long time ago. Yeah.
And we did it as a filler. We did it just because we played live. We needed one more song, and one of the guys said, "Hey, wait, let's just do that one. You know, it's a filler." Yeah, okay, let's do it. Well, then I got feedback from everybody saying, "You know, we like the single, but we like this one better." And I'm like, "Well, let's run with it." And that's what became. People still to this day think I wrote the song. People don't know the Pulido version of it. You know, so.
Yeah.
But regardless of what, we've been here in September. September the 3rd, we're going to be celebrating 25 years of me being by myself
Nice.
on my own solo, whatever, taconazo, right? So we've done 12 albums. Won a Grammy for Paloma.
Technically 4.
No, but I'm saying that was with other groups. But me myself, I won one in 2006 with a CD called Que Siga Taconazo, and that's where Paloma's at.
Right.
Nice.
Paloma was you know, it's funny that we're talking about that because that was a song that I got from Los Aguilares, which here a couple of days ago, Genaro Aguilar
Passed away.
Passed away,
and so we send our love to his family. But they've always been a staple in San Antonio. They've always had a certain sound, right, Los Aguilares. And I told Gilbert, as he says, "What are you gonna do now? What are you gonna do different?" I said, "You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put horns." And he's like, "Horns?" You know, if I would have had it my way, it would have been conjunto with horns, like kind of like conjunto Bernal.
Yeah.
Right? That was the original idea, but then I
Yeah.
said, "How in the hell am I going to pay 8, 10 guys? You know, I mean, I can't even pay 4 or 5."
So that's your dream.
Marcus, you should know what I'm talking about, man, because I mean, it's just hard to carry a
in the
group
studio.
nowadays.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and so he says, "Well, how are you going to do it live?" I said, "Well, I'll just get the keyboard player to get a good sample, and then we'll take." I mean,
It works.
you know what I'm saying? So, and that's what we've done. So it's worked this far. And you know, I got caught. You know, how do you say? Some people were like, "Oh, you don't have a horn section?" And I'm like, "No, you see that keyboard right there?
Yeah, that's my horn section.
That's my horn section." You know, but
5-piece.
you know, so then last when was it? Right after COVID, we took out a record that we had been working on for a long time, and it was a tribute to Roberto Pulido.
Ah, that's my
Hero.
question. I've
Yeah,
been wanting to
my
ask you
hero,
about that, man. You
You
know,
know, growing up, you know, so I was telling you guys that my dad was singing with David Lee. Well, you know, Pulido took David Lee and his band under his wing for a long time in the beginning, so they were always opening up for them. That's where I saw the big buses and the big
Yeah.
show and the cowboy hats and all that, and that was like a big wow. You know, check this out, man. You know, it was like going to watch George Strait. You know, but this was like. I mean, I was a little kid and I was watching this growing up, and I have a picture. I don't have it here; it's at my mom's house. But I have a picture of Roberto holding me, and I told him, "Hey, I want to reenact this." He's like,
yeah, Chente, you know, a lot of artists will do a cover song here, tribute song there, put a 3-piece together. But for El Primo, you did a whole CD in tribute to him, right?
"Yeah, I did a whole CD, man, because you know, you always see people after they pass away. You know, they say, oh, we're gonna pay a tribute to him, or we're gonna do this homage, or this album, or this record." And I talked to him about it. And I said, "Hey, man, you know, you've been a big part of my life in so many ways, and I'd like to you know, I'd like to do a tribute CD to you. That's cool with you." And his exact words were, "Well, I ain't ready to die yet."
See, it ain't about that, man. Yeah.
And I said, well, yeah. And so he was cool. He gave me his blessing. He actually sang a song with me on there. It's called Amor Ingrato. And what can I say, man? It got a real good response. And we recorded that in 21, I think, the end of 21. And that's what I was telling you, D. I mean, since then, I've been working on new stuff, but one day it'll come out, you know. And actually, for the 25th anniversary, you know what I mean? And it's like, Chingao, why do we have to be programmed, right? Right. I have to take out a record. It's the 25th anniversary. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see what happens. You know.
Nice. I think I remember seeing a long time ago one of the first Tejano Music Awards. You were a little kid and you came out with David Lee. I guess he introduced you.
Yeah.
Little kid.
Actually, that was actually after my dad had passed away. David Lee's dad, who God rest his soul as well.
Tony.
He reached out. He took care of us, man. He kept looking out for us and saying, hey, you know what? We'd like to take Chente to the awards just because we're nominated a few times, and you know, try to get his mind off stuff and whatnot. So, yeah. So if you look, it's 1985, and Emilio's real young, and David Lee wins a few awards, and I go up there with him. It's just crazy, man, because I'm like, wow, you know.
Now, one thing about that, and I'm sure Chente will back me up here. All the greats have always had a different. They didn't grow up with Tejano. Emilio didn't grow up with Tejano. Selena didn't. And Chente, what was your influence? Because you were not a Tejano. Let everybody in on what
it has nothing. It has nothing to do with how I write, how I play. But my favorite all-time band was Van Halen. You know,
rock and roll.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's you know. Shortly after my dad passed away, we moved out here to the country. We used to live in closer to the downtown, and we moved out here to the country. And my cousins were all about Boston and Led Zeppelin. So I jumped right in it, man. And I just
now I know why he kicks that bass drum so hard, man. He's got that rock. He got that rock and roll in him.
No, but I mean, growing up, man, my dad always had the albums on of Little Joe and the Latineers, Freddie Martinez, Steve Jordan. You know, so many groups that you know I grew up listening to, and so that's why it was so hard to try to find a style. You know what I mean? A lot of bands, they create a style and they stick with it, and which is fine because that's their identity. It was hard for me to find an identity because I wanted to try everything. I wanted to do conjunto with horns, like I said. I wanted to do, you know, down home conjunto, like, you know, hometown boys. But then I wanted to do like Steve Jordan and be a little bit more, you know, psychedelic, if you will.
Electric. Purple haze.
Wait. Now, okay, now here's a question that I've always wanted to know. So, because Chente's a singer-songwriter, where do you get the experience to write these songs? He wrote a song called Te Juro that I love that we recorded with Grupo Valiente.
Yeah.
And then I asked him to write me a couple of songs for this Culturas album. And this guy said, hey, give me a second and I'll do that. And a couple of days later, he throws me 2 songs. And these songs are great. Where did that come from, though, man?
I don't know, man. I just hear some of it is personal. Some of it is other people that I know what they're going through. Some of it is just like I think Te Juro. I wanted to write a song called Te Juro. That was it. And so I went from there. And usually I'll start with the chorus because that's the hook.
Yeah,
right?
the hook, yeah.
And then go backwards, right? So, you know, I don't know, man. You know, like Son Tus Miradas was a big hit for Dip
yeah.
And so that was a personal thing when I was young and I met this girl, and at the end of the day she told me she had a boyfriend, right? So I was all heartbroken, but I was real young, right? So I remember we were going from Laredo to Houston, and I asked our road manager at the time. I said, "Hey man, you got a tablet and a pen?" And he's like, "Yeah." What do you want right now? It's 3:00 in the morning. What are you gonna do with that? I said, well, I got some ideas, and that's what came out. Cada vez que yo te miro, no sé cómo explicar que yo quiero ser tu amante y darte feliz. Anyway, son tus miradas que adoro. And that's what came out.
That's classic, man. Yeah.
Well, he wrote a song called Que no ves, que no ves, que no soy nada. Dude, I love the lyrics on that, man. It's like sounds like. What happened to you that you wrote this?
A lot of times too, it has the like to do with the singer. Like when I wrote man, there was another. Oh, I wrote this song called "Tú me haces feliz" with Grupo Rodeo,
Yeah.
and that's because one day I remember I was at a restaurant. And I ran into Panchito, and he says, "Hey man, you got any songs? I'm doing a new Rodeo CD." And man, I didn't eat. I said, "Give me a napkin." And I started, and I called him the next day and said, "Hey, I got a song for you." He's like, "All right, what do you got?" So anyway, they recorded it. It was pretty cool. Um, but it has a lot to do with the singer, Ram. I was part of a label a few years ago called V&B Records.
Mhm.
And Ram was part of it, and Ram called me and says, "Hey man, what do you got?" And I'm like, "You know what? I don't have anything, but give me a couple of days and I'll come up with something." And so the song that he recorded that was the single was that song called uh, "Eres mi todo," which was
Oh yeah.
the hook was "Porque te quiero más que a nadie, más que nunca, más que todo." Yeah. Anyway, that's what came out of that. But because I'm hearing this voice, that's how it was so easy to write for Jay. Because Jay was like, "Hey, I need this." Like, okay, I can hear his voice, and I would write stuff.
So
Pretty good
demanding.
impression.
So Chente, you're like a one-stop shop for stuff.
No, one time we were at a restaurant after a gig, and Jay says, "Hey, uh,
I like your invitations, man. They're
this
pretty
is
good.
what he goes, this is what I got." And I'm like, "What do you got?" He says, "I got, aunque diga que el hombre no llora, aunque diga que el hombre es muy macho." I said, "That's all you got?" He goes,
That's all he had.
I said, "Okay, I'll finish it." And it was a song called Hombres y Mujeres, but and he goes, "So we're gonna go half or what?" And I'm like, "Well, you only wrote a quarter of it."
Less than a quarter.
But it's all good, man. I mean, the songwriting thing has just become, somebody said, "Hey, man, we need a song," and I just, I mean, you got Beto Ramon, Luis Silva, God rest his soul. Those guys are songwriters. I just
Yeah.
like,
Dude, come on, Chente.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
you're a songwriter, man. You're one of the great songwriters because all the songs you write, man, they're honest, they're true, and they tug at your heartstrings, man. So yeah,
Well, I appreciate that.
Let's go ahead and give some shout outs real quick, and then we're gonna get into our first video. We have Mr. Rick Valderrama says saludos Chente.
Rick Valderrama, hey man, we recorded a song, one of his dad's old songs, and
Chente has recorded with everyone, people.
Studio whore.
They gotta get you on the New
at least it's
Culturas
got the word
album.
studio in front of it.
Yeah.
Rick Rodriguez out there in Dallas area, he says saludos to the 4 crazy vatos. Slick
Órale.
Rick Dallas in the house.
I would
so we
say
got-
Cuatro Vatos Locos, but that's the Garcia brother.
yeah. We have Rudy Buga Perales. Saludos
Órale.
Chente from Buga.
Hell yeah.
Tejano Legends Houston. You recorded on one of their songs for their new
Yeah,
album.
about a year ago we did this song called I already forgot, man, but
I can't. I don't
He
know
actually-
you remember what you do remember.
Too much
Yeah.
work. Too much work.
He actually reminded me
anyway,
earlier, too.
it was for a band called Grupo Quemado. Y'all know who Grupo
Okay,
Quemado
now,
is.
yeah.
That was Buga's band.
Anyway, that's Quemado, and I got to sing a song with him. Golly, what was it called, man? Now I'm gonna be.
¿Cómo es posible?
¿Cómo es posible? Thank you, sir.
He reminded me earlier. He said he was going to be watching, so we're going to add that one to the rotation because we added a few of the songs from that album. Came out pretty good. So.
They got a great album there.
Yeah, that's a great album. So saludos going out to Rudy Buga Perales. Janie Rios says hello from Conroe, Texas, right outside of Houston. Buddy from It's Tejano Time says shout out from DFW. Been looking forward to this interview with Chente Barrera. Thank you for tuning in. Ms. Juanita Chapa says Chente Barrera has some powerful Tejano music. I love his style. Hello, three amigos. Hello, Juanita.
Hello, Juanita.
Jimmy Lee.
Jimmy
Saludos,
Lee.
guys. Chente.
Right.
¿Qué onda, bro?
Suénale.
Julian Gonzalez. Saludos, guys. Accordion player for La Fiebre here. La Fiebre.
Yeah, Julian.
Yeah, Julian.
Nice. Rita Capuchina says saludos from San Angelo, Texas.
And Angelo.
I think Rita's got a brand new album coming out pretty soon too, so we'll be on the lookout for that one. Adam Brown says hello,
Adam
Chente
Brown,
from Colorado. Colorado.
Where's Adam Brown at? I don't see him.
He's stalking you in your backyard, man.
Oh, nombre.
All right, so the first video we're going to get into, Chente did a song with the legendary Mr. Johnny Hernandez.
Oh yeah.
So this
I hate that video, but anyway.
that was filmed at the VFW 76.
Only because I was supposed to wear something else, and it's a long story. But anyway,
we want to hear it. We want to hear it.
We'll hear it after the video. We'll hear it after the video. All right, so make sure you guys check this one out. Chente Barrera and Johnny Hernandez right here on the Three Amigos Show.
Si la llegan a ver, si quiere ya volver, que ni lo piense. Díganle que el amor que yo le daba ayer, hoy no se vende. Y aunque a mi corazón ya lo enseñó a olvidar, ya no la quiere. Aunque no hay que hasta llorar, ya no la quiere. Si la miran pasar, díganle que no hay ni la esperanza, que ya no existe en mí, que gracias yo le di a la distancia. Y si llega a dudar o llega a preguntar que si la quiero, dile que no y que no, dile que no y que no, mejor me muero. If you could see her friend and she wants to return, tell her forget. Tell her the love I had to give her yesterday has gone away. Tell her my heart has learned to forgive and forget. It doesn't want her. That it's forgotten times of broken valentines. It doesn't want her. If she comes passing by, tell her there's nothing left of old romances. Say that I'm flying high, that I'm up to the sky with brand new fancies. And just to make it clear that I don't want her here, wasting my time. Tell her I said no, no. Tell her I said please go. I'm doing just fine. Dígale que no hay. Dígale que no hay. Mejor me muero.
Mejor me muero.
And there you have it, Chente Barrera and Johnny Hernandez. That's
Son
awesome.
of-
Legend.
Tell me about the outfit, dude. I want to know. What was it?
Well, it's because when when they said, hey, well, first of all, I got to give Johnny props because Johnny called me one day and he says, hey, I want you to produce a song for me. I said, man, that's an honor, man. Johnny, I mean, you know, being the legend that he is. He says, I want to do Díganle. And I was like, oh, man. I said, and this is the exact words I told him. I said, Johnny, Díganle is a song that you don't fuck with. And he says, what do you mean? I said, it's like Las Nubes. You don't touch that.
Yeah.
You can't touch Díganle, man. I mean, are you serious? He says, look, do it like if you were doing it for your band. I said, okay, I'll see what I can do. So when he told me that, it was easy for me to make the arrangement because it sounds like something I would do with him singing it. So I got to give props also to Xavier Chavarria, who was actually, that was his idea to do that. Anyway, going back to the clothes thing, when they said, hey, we're going to do a video this time at this location, I said, cool, man, I'm going to go get me a nice coat, you know, whatever. And I go get it. I got fitted, whatever. We go to the place. The sleeves are about this long.
Oh man!
And I said, what the hell am I going to do with this? And even if I would have, I mean, it just looked bad.
At the video shoot, you tried it on at the video shoot?
The hell with it. Let's just get her done, man. So we did. So I did that without the coat. And anyway, but I mean, you know, at the end of the day, it was okay. A lot of people like that video and they like that song. So I
the song is great. You just look like you felt uncomfortable, like you were the Theo, the drunk Theo that showed up at the wedding, at the quinceañera.
Johnny's all suit, tie, and hat and everything.
Everybody was all dressed up, and then you see the guy with the hat.
I'm like, well, okay, I'm the guy that, you know.
No, but it worked. It worked, though. It's a good video. It's really good. Who shot that? That was man, good. I'm a video editing nut nowadays, and so the location, the way the video was presented, that's really good stuff. So.
And I tell you what, man, they went to that VFW and they got I don't know if they got fined or they got in trouble because they weren't supposed to use a drone. For whatever reason.
Yeah,
that was because it was in the city limit. Somebody saw it, you know, flying everywhere, and hey, where's that going? And anyway, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but anyway.
Was that VMB filmed it? You guys were filming videos too, weren't you, VMB? Y'all were doing videos?
Yeah. I never got a video, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that begs the question: why don't you have more videos? Because I mean, everybody and their mother are putting out videos nowadays, and
you know, D, I've always been like real picky about what's it gonna look like, who's gonna do it. You know, they want to charge an arm and a leg, and I'm like, well, for what? I mean, show me what you got. And I think I've got maybe 2 or 3 videos in the 25 years that I've been in existence with my band. You know, so maybe we'll talk after the show and we can catch up.
No, man, I've got to find who's got pirate Chente Barrera videos, man.
I know you made it hard for the show, so I was like, I had to get some live footage. I think I have one from your 20th anniversary.
I saw that, and I thought to myself, these guys bootleg or what's going on?
so now we got one of those videos from there. So we're gonna play that one in just a little while.
Oh, but I wanted to say something real quick, Chente. It's been years and I hadn't really thanked you properly. I don't think. Just Chente, they had an event in Vegas, and Chente hired all the bands that were influences to him in his Tejano career. And he had Emilio, he had Ram, and he had Culturas. And that still boggles me that you.
Well, you know, I think that, and this happens to a lot of bands that have taken a break for a little bit, and then they come back, and I'm the same way because when we cut a record that we did for D and Delia. That was on Cuba Records. So at that time, I guess it was hard for people not to see you guys without using the name Culturas, right?
Right.
I mean, I think they had a hard time. Like,
it's still the same way.
Delia, what do you mean? Well, it's the two. Hello, it's the two. You know, lead vocal. Well, what happened to Cultura as well? I mean, that's that was something they used to do. This is now, and I don't know. For some reason, to me, it was hard for them to accept that, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
it's still hard. It's still hard.
You know what I mean? And so, but when we did, that old David Lee song that we recorded,
Yeah,
and he wrote it. That song, De Nuevo Otra Vez, that's a great song, man.
yeah.
I mean, when you guys did it, I mean, we did it there in Vegas. Now that you bring it up, De Nuevo Otra Vez, yeah, man. And then y'all put me on the spot to do that tercera. I'm like, we didn't record it like that.
I
Well,
know.
just do it. Delia said, just do it. And she shows me, and I'm like, okay, shit.
You're a singer, aren't you? Huh? Sing.
No, but we had a lot of fun. And in the early days of the Vegas convention, I was, I guess I was part of the staff at some point.
You're the house drummer.
Yeah, and we had a lot of fun doing it. So, they're up and running on their own, and now it's a monster now, man. It's a big deal. So, and it's become a big deal for Tejano music in general. Every summer you get to go to Vegas and see all your favorite Tejano bands. And
Are you going to be out there next year for their
one
20th?
stop shop?
Yeah,
One stop shop. You can win money, lose money, do something else. Anyway.
I was waiting for one of
Marcus
these.
is being real quiet, man. Marcus is being
Oh, yeah, I'm sitting back. Hey, but now you have, is Tano Explosion yours or not? That's yours, right?
That's not mine. Everybody
That's
thinks
not-
it's mine. I went on the show called Bumpers Wacky Wednesday, and he put me on the spot, and he says, "Okay, this is what I want to know. Do you own Tejano Explosion?" I said, "No, I don't."
Did you
And
know
he
the whole
says, "Why
industry
does
thinks
everybody think you own Tejano Explosion?" So
Mhm.
let me explain.
Okay.
About, I would say probably 7-8 years ago, they had hired Ramon Ayala, or should I say, they thought they hired Ramon. Okay, somebody went in there, misrepresented Ramon Ayala.
Mhm.
It was a big fiasco, and the owner of Tejano Explosion, his name is Jesse Diaz. He calls me up and says, "Chente, I want to get Ramon Ayala for next year, even though it was a big, screw up this past year. I was talking to the wrong people, whatever. But I'd like to bring other bands. Can you help me?" I said, "Of course." I knew Ramon Ayala's manager at the time. I introduced Jesse to them, to Abraham Quintanilla. They booked the Cumbia Kings a couple of years. Introduced them to Intocable's manager, so on and so forth, right? So then he says, "Hey, well, can you help me put some of these bands together?" I said, "Well, yeah, well, what do you got?" He says, "Well, here's my A list. Here's who I want. Here's what day I want them. Here's what, how much." So we go from there. Then he says, what do you think? And I say, "Well, I mean, it's his money, not mine." So everybody gets mad at me though, because they're like, "Well, how come you didn't book us, man? And how come you didn't?" I said, "Dude, it's not me. Trust me." And I say that sincerely because I don't want that conflict of interest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes, I do help with the festival. As far as if he tells me, "Look, book this guy," okay, yeah, I'll book him. Hey, here's what's going on. Here's a contract. Here, y'all talk, and that's it. That's what I do. And somebody mentioned the fact, "Well, why do you play there every year?" And I said, "Well, because he hires me, and I tell him every year, look, if I don't have to play, don't worry about it. It's all good. There's enough for everybody to go around. It's during Fiesta. Fiesta's got all kinds of
Yes.
stuff going on." And he's like, "Well, no, man. It's only right. You help me with this and with that, and so." A lot of people get really, really, and they really, really get mad. Trust me, because I get the phone calls every year. "Well, man, well, that's not right. And how come this guy gets to go every year and this, that?" I'm like, "Well,
I'm sorry, Chente. Chente, I'm sorry, man. Y'all got it rained out, and I sent everyone to your Facebook page. I said, go talk to Chente. The rain. It's raining, and blame it on Chente.
well, I tell you what, it was funny because for the longest time, y'all know who the Liberty Band is, right? Here from
Yeah.
San Antonio,
Bobby.
and they had Bobby, man. He's a good friend, and he'd been calling me. He's like, "Chente, come on, man, put me in the." I said, "Bro, I put you on the list. I put you on the, and it's up to them. It's not up to me." And that I do it, like I said, on purpose because I don't want to go through that. Well, finally they say, "You know what? the first night of the Tejano Explosion last year, they were going to do like the best from San Antonio, right? So you had Ram, you had the Desperados, and you had Liberty Band, which was a Tejano band, conjunto band, and an orchestra band, right? You mix it up.
Yeah.
Well, these guys go on at 7:30. 7:15, they're on stage, they're getting a line check, everything's good to go. The soundman says, okay, man, we got 5 minutes, for showtime. And the rain just said, bang. Come on, brother. For an hour.
Yes. It was horrible, man. It was horrible.
And I mean, the place flooded. I mean, it was bad, right? So then, we go back, and I mean, and that's the thing about Jesse Diaz. He's a man of his word. He says, look, man, I'm sorry this happened, but here's your money. We'll see. Maybe we'll get you next year. And the guys Bobby's like, you know why it rained, right? You know why it rained? Because y'all booked us finally. And I just laughed.
Wow.
I said, oh my God. But then, I mean, it was followed by like 2-3 more nights like that. And oh my God. But hey, that's the nature of the business, you win some, lose some, and it just, and if it doesn't rain, it gets cold. It could be the hottest spring, and all of a sudden, one day, God says, you know what? I don't want people to go to your show, so I'm going to send you over.
You guys are wusses, man. I played if it was raining anyway. Just because. People don't care. People, if they paid the money to get in, they will play anyway. I'll be glad to play.
Oh, yeah.
Sick afterwards, but yeah.
Chente, all these years in the industry, you backed up everybody, you sang for everybody, you played for everybody. Is there anything that you have yet to accomplish that you want to?
Well, I always wanted to record.
Movies?
I always wanted to record with La Mafia or do something with La Mafia. That was one for the bucket list, right? And so, ironically, this past April, they played the Tejano Explosion. They were getting a sound check, and Oscar was kind of like making sure his mix was good on his in-ears and whatnot. And I was just standing on the side there, and he happened to walk by, and I put my hand out, and he gives me the mic. So I start singing. No esperes que mañana vuelva porque no lo haré. Right? And the band's playing, and I'm singing, and I'm going, oh shit, I'm singing with La Mafia.
Nobody's got a recording, do they? Did somebody film it? Come on.
Yes, they did. Somebody has it. It's all blurry, but it's you can hear it. And that was a moment, man. And so I haven't recorded anything with them, but that moment there was like, wow. So that, and then for the longest time, people thought I was nuts, but do you remember Sam Almanza from Laredo? He was a DJ out there. When he would announce me, he would say, El Phil Collins de la Onda. because of the drums and the vocals,
singing.
right?
Yeah.
Well, one day this guy, he's like a big Alamo fan, Phil Collins. So he had these artifacts, and I don't know, he's like this collector. He had it here by the Alamo. And I went over there to look for him. And I said, man, wouldn't it be cool if we did a collab? Because, what are the chances, right? I mean, the worst thing you can say is, no, I'm not interested, right?
Thank you.
But when I went over there, every time I'd go over there, he was gone. He either had gone to lunch or he'd get away from the deal, right? And then Gilbert went over there. Gilbert Velasquez goes over there. And he gave him his version of what he thought happened at the Alamo. But he laughed. So anyway, Gilbert was with another friend of his. His name is Henry Parrilla, who's another legend of Tejano music. He says, well, a few days later, he sees Phil Collins at a restaurant. And Phil Collins tells him, your friend's not with you, is he? He's talking about Gilbert. I don't know what Gilbert told him, but I guess it freaked him out or whatever. I told him,
well, it's Gilbert. It's Gilbert. It's Gilbert.
But anyway, I guess the fact that I never got to see him or meet up with him or talk to him, I guess that was a sign that it just wasn't supposed to happen or something.
No, man.
But that was something I thought that I thought that would be really cool because of my career as a drummer and a singer. And I mean, he's that's basically his career too in a different way. But anyway, that's something that's way up there. The other one, of course, was and of course I got to meet him in a weird way was the other Chente, Vicente Fernandez.
Fernandez.
That was the big, man. If I could sing a song with this cat, that would be great,
Oh, yeah.
But things happen for a reason, and I met him at the rodeo here in San Antonio. I kept telling him Chente, and he looked at me, and I told him, "Hey, my name's Chente too," and I shook his hand, and he said, "Good to meet you," but he had that look like, "Who's this crazy mother?"
Just because your name's Chente. The thing is, he doesn't need a mic though. He never needs.
I know, man.
That dude can sing.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable till the end, and but anyway, I mean, you asked me, and I'm telling you what the different crazy ideas that I've had, but sitting in with Mafia was too surreal, man. It was crazy, but it was badass at the same time.
Now, I want Marcus and Juan to notice that Chente doesn't say no. You ask him,
Oh,
hey, can you
just
do
like
this?
you.
Can you do that? Exactly. Man, you never know what you're gonna learn. You never know what you're gonna experience if you say no. That's why I always say yes, man. Always, always, always. I'll say yes.
But I mean, as many years as you guys have in the industry, you guys have a lot to offer to other people who are just coming into this industry, being musicians or singers or play instruments and stuff like that. You guys have a lot to offer.
Well, how else are they going to get experience unless they get out there and bust their ass, man? They've got to, play the gigs for nothing. They've got to go out there and
So back in 19
get screwed by promoters.
The gigs for free.
Back in 1990, I was dating this girl. I was still in high school, and I went to a prom, and this band called La France was playing.
Oh, please.
Oh.
And that's when I first heard D sing a Tejano song, and I said, "Damn!"
I learned that one with back with Patsy Torres because we did Little Joe.
Yeah, you did Las Nubes, right, or something
Las
like
Nubes and A Poco Picas, porque fumamos
okay.
marihuana.
There you go.
La 45. So
Yeah, man.
I was
But anyway,
thinking,
and what I like really, who was y'all's drummer at the time?
Joe Martinez.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? With La France?
Yeah. Oh well, no. In La France, that was Lionel Houston. Lionel.
Yeah, he had a badass like electric set. I remember that.
Electric.
I was like, damn, that guy's got a cool set, because at that time, that's when electric drums were like taking over.
Yeah. But it was all he ran everything with a sampler. It wasn't just a regular kit. So we could program the drums to do anything he wanted to do.
Right. And then I think we played at La Semana Alegre too.
Dude,
Remember
back
that?
when it got nuts, man, when it was like, it was so packed. You couldn't go in the audience, man. I'd dive in the audience. I'd ask people to throw beer on me, man. They'd have to throw pitchers of beer just because you're up on stage, man. It was fun.
Chente, I was thinking, man, how many
Go ahead.
Chente, I'm sorry, man, to interrupt.
Sorry.
You as a drummer coming up front, and we had Bobby Butler as a drummer came up front.
And you have Jay Pettis coming
Jay Pettis.
Drummers.
I know I gotta be missing a couple of artists. Is that it? Can you think of?
Drummer to vocalist. I can think of, but besides the ones you just.
Well, Richard Solis wants to be a singer.
So if we had a drum off, who's gonna kick ass right now?
Oh,
Bobby was still with us. I know the answer.
Let me get out of this conversation.
I know the answer, man. I'm just teasing Chente. I want him to be insulted by that question. No, could Jay handle you, man? Could Bobby Butler handle you?
I'm gonna say what Richard Pryor said. The winner is, not Richard Pryor, Little Richard. He said the winner is me. No, if you were to put drum off, God rest his soul, to me the best drummer was Rick Reyes. He was with Little Joe and
Yeah.
Tortilla Factory for
He had timing
many
issues.
years. You got to hear. I mean, listen to Prieta Linda, bro. Listen to that. I mean,
But he had
no.
timing issues.
La Malagueña, Tortilla Factory. Bobby Butler sang that one.
Yeah.
Ricky's on drums. Now that's oh my God, man, that's crazy. That's a masterpiece, man. I mean, but there's so many great drummers out there
In Tejano, there's two drummers that.
Oh, you know who else was a drummer that sang that became a singer? Ruben Ramos.
Oh,
Ruben.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Right.
But there's two drummers out there that have metronomes for clock in their heads, and that's Chente and Mando Alcenac.
Oh man,
both of you guys are just
Mando, badass, man.
Yeah, but he still goes Chente.
No. I consider all these guys my buddies, man. And you know, there's so many great drummers out there right now that it freaks me out, man, because there's young guys out there too. There's real young people that are out there. My nephew right now is doing very well. He's playing with AB and the Cumbia All Stars. His name is Mel Sanchez.
Who did Despacito?
Oh yeah, seen a video of him.
Yeah.
Seen a video.
He's doing very well. He played with La 45 a little while.
Yeah.
And he helped out Jaime de Anda for a little bit, but he finally got the call from AB, and he's been traveling the world, man. They've been everywhere. They're gonna go other places too. So, I said, God dog it, you just got in this band and you're going further than I did. Damn it. No, but it's all good. It's all good. It's really, really cool.
Who's the drummer on Despacito? With a Macizo? Was it Macizo? No.
Despacito.
Signal.
Who is that guy?
I think it might be Joey Jimenez, ain't it?
I don't know. I just remember hearing the recording, and the first time hearing it, it's like, what? It's great stuff. So
yeah, I could be wrong, because the guy, when Joey got out, the guy they got is Chato, and that guy's a bad dude too, man. So but these guys they're fun to watch.
Okay, enough musician talk, because people are watching this and they want to know stuff like, Chente, what the heck? What are you afraid of, man?
What am I afraid of?
Yeah, what are you afraid of? Now, don't give us a big philosophical, I'm afraid of, there won't be peace in the world, and no. What if we put you in a room in the dark and threw something in? What would it be there?
Snake.
Snake.
I cannot stand that shit, man.
Oh, wait. Ernie Gonzalez is, dude. This is the engineer that I have to go to Nashville in a few weeks, because he's busy touring with Martina McBride as a sound. He's winning Grammys, and so so he's supposed to record this week with Delia and Carlos in San Antonio. What are you doing watching the show, Ernie? Dude.
He has some downtime. He said Chente most definitely changed the Tejano music landscape, where he came on the scene and still continues to do so. He's a trailblazer, a talent, and a true gift to the industry.
Dude, all right,
thanks, Ernie. Appreciate that.
Pay Ernie for that, man.
We just cut a record for his dad.
Yeah.
That thing is a badass record, man. Oh my God, what's the name of it? Is it the Latin Drops or something like that? I can't remember, but I know I recorded on that, and it's a great record.
You're old school, and you still use the word record.
I know, man. I say record and tape.
I say album. Well, I mean, this day is album. But
album.
When I think about record, you think about the old
vinyl,
the old 45s,
stuff like that.
And it sucks that nowadays, people aren't they're getting less and less hip to the CDs, right? And I get it, times change, and but the CD was so exactly what it was, a compact disc. You got your picture, you got your fold out. Sometimes it was like a damn accordion, right? They wanted to put all the lyrics. But it was cool. But see, I like that, man. That's,
me too.
That's the old school in me. But times change. People just want to stream, and they don't have time to be reading all the credits and all that kind of good stuff. But
or
I love all that, man. I mean,
or they don't want to buy the whole album. I just want to buy that one song.
yeah, exactly.
Gil
Which is
Gonzalez
crazy, right?
says,
Like, why would you want to do that? But instead of selling the whole record, but it is what it is.
The whole record's an experience, man. You're supposed to experience the mood changes and everything in the record. But
Yes.
no,
well, it was the
it's
same
the
thing
hit
back in the
alone.
day. I mean, back in the day, you bought these things. They only have 2 songs on them. I think the max you could probably fit on there is like 4.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, that was back then. That was the teaser for the rest of the
The
album.
album.
Yeah. Well, unless they did nothing but singles like some artists do now, just
Oh,
pure
yeah.
single here and single there. Gil Gonzalez says, saludos desde Encinitas, California.
All right, California.
And then we have Irene Mendoza says, hello from Glendale, Arizona.
She's here every week. Hi, Irene.
All right.
Every week she tunes in.
Hey, Chente, what would you be, man, if you weren't a musician? What? Because every kid, you know, did you want to grow be a fireman or an astronaut?
When I got out of high school, I wanted to be I wanted to get in medical technology. I wanted to be a surgeon. I wanted to be the guy that would give you the utensils. I wanted to be the guy I need this, I need that. I wanted to be that guy. And then I actually went to a couple of classes, and man, I had I'm going to say not a soft stomach, but a soft heart, because, I could take most of what they were showing and but as soon as they got to the babies, man, God. It was, that's when I said, nah, this ain't for me, man. I just couldn't do that. I mean, just to see those, those little bodies, but that's why you got to give props to the doctors and the surgeons that do those kind of things, because it just, that's not for everybody, man. And I thought that's what I wanted to do, but then I said, no, I'll just keep playing drums and singing.
Noel Hernandez, saludos desde Utah.
Utah.
I didn't know Noel from Utah. Oh, he's from Texas somewhere.
Well, let's put some pressure on Chente's significant other. So, what are the plans for kids? We need grandkids, dudes.
Oh, no. Well, maybe grandkids, but I got 2 boys, man, and I already told them, hey, y'all got to get to work, man.
Hey, be careful what you ask for. I said that with my kids. I said that with my kids, and I already have 3 grandbabies.
Shit. I bet you dread Christmas, right?
Well, hasn't got to that part yet. So. Let's see. We got Vince Martinez says, great music, Chente, puro Tejano, from Vince Martinez Music.
All right.
We have Reinaldo Hernandez. Chente Barrera is a real deal Tejano sound. He is up there with the best of the best.
I agree.
Thank you. Badass.
Nice. So what are you going to be working on now? What's going on in your schedule?
Actually, I'm just trying to, like I said earlier, man, I'm really, really trying to focus on finishing what we got. We got all these tracks in the studio. And Gilbert's like, well, I'm waiting on you. I'm here.
I guess.
Chente, have you ever tried?
You know what I'm talking about, right, D?
Chente, have you ever tried to have you ever tried to list all your credits?
I do have them. I have them listed.
So, I mean, are you looking? What are you talking about? Hundreds? Or are you pushing thousands?
Dude,
yeah, we're
it's in the hundreds.
I know it's in the hundreds, easily in the hundreds.
Yeah, let me give me a minute. Give me a minute.
Well, in the meantime, let's go ahead and take another break real quick, and we're gonna play another video here and one of his awesome songs, and this one is called Copa Tras Copa.
Oh, that's
right here on the Tres Amigos Show.
Ando borracho, más lo bueno que no caigo, pues me sostiene la fuerza de mi orgullo. Que dijiste este día lo traigo herido. Nunca en la vida tus ojos lo verás. Copa tras copa, botella tras botella. Conforme todo me voy reconfortando. Eres muy linda, más conmigo eso no vale. Nadie en el mundo a mí me hará caer. las noches te decía que te quería, y eran mentiras, nomás te fui tanteando. Soy golondrina que despacio voy cruzando, nunca en la vida en jaula me verás. Copa tras copa, botella tras botella, conforme todo me voy reconfortando. Ya me despido de tu amor, me voy cantando, tus lindos ojos no me verán caer. Noches te decía que te quería, eran mentiras, nomás te fui tanteando. Soy golondrina que despacio voy cruzando, nunca en la vida en jaula me verás. Copa tras copa, botella tras botella, conforme todo me voy reconfortando. Ya me despido de tu amor, me voy cantando, tus lindos ojos no me verán caer.
Welcome back to the Three Amigos show. Tonight, our guest star is Mr. Chente Barrera, and he's got the list of every artist he's ever played, performed with.
Wow.
Very long list.
Yeah.
How many names? Come on.
I'm at 474.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I have a list like that one.
This goes back from 1988 when I did my first recording with a band called it was called La Diferencia, not Ricardo Castellón. This was way before that, but this was called Rudy Alvarez. La Diferencia was my first record in 1988. I recorded drums, and I was like 12 years old, 11 years old, something like that. And then
okay, then I gotta ask, Chente.
So check it out. Hold on, I'm looking for.
Oh,
God, it's gotta be here.
go ahead.
There it is, 1993. It was an album called Culture Shock.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Right there, number 28. Right here, number 28.
Does Bubba Dice on it?
No, 93. Culture Shock had
Tulinda Cara.
had Yolanda and all that, right?
Yeah.
Cada mañana. Yeah.
Lo primero que miro es tu linda cara.
Hell yeah.
Because that song was originally written for La Tropa F. And
Are
Manny,
you serious?
yeah, and Manny
I
said,
did not
hey,
know that.
well, Tropa, that's them playing bass and bajo and all that stuff on that. That's Tropa. It's not any of us.
I can't picture David singing that song though.
Well, that's why Manny gave it to us. So Chente, as much as people love and adore you, I asked this question of all the artists because I like to know. Out of all the millions of people that love you, there's always one person who said something negative to you and it stuck and you just can't get it out of your head. And for me, it was when Manny discovered us, the night he discovered us, this little old lady came out and she said to me, "You will never be one of us." And I can't get that out of my head. Has anybody said anything negative? I mean, it could be about anything, but something negative that somebody said to you that you just can't let go.
You know, I can't really pinpoint anybody, but everybody always, not everybody, but in the beginning, I got a lot of, dude, you should just be a drummer, man. You got You got no business singing, you know. I got that from a few people, and when I won my Grammy, I started laughing about it.
Well, yeah. Now you can go like this, man. You said,
You know,
I guess I should have stuck to drumming, huh?
but unfortunately, you know, there's always haters, man.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you know, and it's okay. It's okay because you know that's what makes it. You know, that's what makes the world go round. Like you said, you know, I mean, you gotta have those haters out there. But I mean, even the bigger groups, you know, like Metallica and those guys, they got their string of haters there,
Yeah.
and it's like, really, man, come on. I mean, these guys. I mean, you know, but that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. I mean, you know, I remember we were playing. We were playing a song at a gig one time. We were playing a cumbia, and it was the Jimmy Gonzalez. Right?
Yeah.
So some lady walks up and she goes, "Y'all quit playing music from Mexico. Y'all need to play more Tejano." I said, "Okay, just chill out. You know, we'll be all right." Well, then we start playing. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba, todo el mundo tocando palmas. And she's out there dancing and having a good time.
Oh,
I
hell.
thought to myself, okay.
Really?
That's from Mexico.
The band I was playing before, Jimmy, he's from Texas, you know. I mean, these guys are from Mexico. Anyway, you just get people like that just don't know what they're talking about, and it is what it is. But as
So what
far
you
as,
look-
I mean, what you were saying, yeah, I've had some people tell me that, you know, early on, you know, I'm good, you know what I mean? I can sleep at night. I'm cool.
Yeah, you don't have to carry your Grammys around with you. Take a look. What's your most embarrassing moment on stage, man? What's
Most embarrassing moment?
Oh yeah. I don't have one because I don't get embarrassed.
Man. Probably one time I forgot my boots.
No.
I had to wear my Crocs, dude.
No. No. With your cowboy hat?
Luckily, we were playing at an outdoor festival in Burnett, Texas. So there wasn't even a Walmart. I couldn't even go buy something.
Some work boots.
Yeah, something. But
what
so I
color
told
was
the
it?
guy, bring me the monitor and put it right here in front of my.
Oh man! Hey, you could have cut holes in your hat, man. It could have been like a matching set, Crocs and hat.
Oh my god!
Oh.
And
Johnny,
I mean, it's so uncomfortable. I mean, like, I don't know, man. You just kind of stand there, like, well, okay, anybody looking, you know.
Oh man, we have Johnny Meadows says 100% fire out there in New Mexico.
Johnny.
Johnny. Reynaldo Hernandez, Chente will be taking us all to Milwaukee to the Mexican Fest with
Yes,
his unique
sir.
old school Tejano sound.
Hell yeah, we'll be out there this weekend, God willing, and rock and roll.
Jarvis Perez says, like the song. I like to hear him sing.
I like him sing.
Carlos Padilla, New Mexico, in the house.
Órale.
Chente, the duo song you made with the girl from New Mexico, great one, brother.
Right on, man.
Who's that?
That was with
I knew it.
Michaela.
Pull out.
With Michaela.
Oh, okay, Michaela.
Michaela, we did that. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah.
Man, all these songs and these credits are spilling out the top, and he can barely hang on to remember them.
Hey, what was it like singing with Roberto Pulido? Who did the higher harmonies?
He did. He did them. I told him. I said, because nowadays, I mean, like anything else, man, he still hits some notes, but it takes him a little while to get there, And I told him, hey, man, I'll do the high, no, cabrón, I won't do that. I said, all right, man, But
the impression is it's right on the.
Singing with Roberto is just for me it's a whole nother level because this is a guy I grew up listening to.
Yeah.
So this is a guy that just influenced me so much with what I do now in my style and whatnot, and even the way I sing, you know. And it's just that's why I did that album that I did, and that's because I didn't do all the songs I wanted to do, but because we were on a time limit.
Yeah.
And but hey, I'm happy with what came out, and I don't know. Everybody says, "Well, why don't you do a volume 2?" And I'm like, "Well, maybe down the road I will, but for now I need to focus on some more Chente
Well,
music."
you have to pick and choose. I mean, look at the catalog that Pulido has. I mean,
Oh man,
that's a long catalog.
yeah.
Wasn't he real particular on picking the song he wanted to do with you?
Actually, no. He was real open to whatever I thought was cool. You know, he trusted my judgment, and when I showed him the final list, he says, "Okay, cool, man." You know, he was actually surprised that I did a song that he did with a band that he did before he made the clásicos. It was a band called Los Casinos, and it's a song called La Pajarera. It's a real old song,
Yeah.
and I actually did that one. Actually, JB Hernandez, my drummer, he's the one that said, "Hey, we should do that one, man," because he did that one before he had made the clásicos, and I said, "Tá bueno." So we did it. He was surprised that we had done that one, but other than that, I mean, yeah, I mean, he was very, very, very supportive and everything, and that's why he's on the cover, and a lot of people sometimes think, "Oh, is that the new Pulido album?" You know, and I'm like, well, kind of. I mean, they're his songs,
So
But,
what's the pressure? What's the pressure like for a drummer to be playing for the greatest drummer in Tejano? JB.
No, man, I mean, I'm not gonna say that, but
Those looks,
gotta be
those
pressure.
D, those looks.
JB
Those
was one of
looks.
the guys that I looked up to many years ago. You know, JB was playing with Cali Carranza, Oscar G, all these
Yeah,
bands.
but
Ternura.
come on. There's got to be nights where you're up there singing and you do this. You look back at the drummer.
And everybody in the band knows what happened.
You know, he dropped a beat somewhere. He dropped an accent somewhere because you're singing. All of a sudden,
To be quite honest with you, I don't do that much. What I do is he'll do something that's like hell yeah, and I'll turn around and be like, come on, bro, bring it. I mean,
well, yeah,
that is-
encouragement, man. Of course.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
magic
So,
moments.
it just I've always had mad respect for JB and for him being in my group. I mean, it's funny because about 15 years ago, when I said, "Hey man, I need a drummer, man," and he's like, "All right, well, I'll help you. I'll help you until you can find somebody." So one day they asked him, "How long you been playing with Chente?" He goes, "Well, I've been helping him out for about 15 years."
A fill-in.
Oh yeah,
But
do me a favor.
the band, I'm very lucky, man. My band, they've grown to share the chemistry that they do. I've had this band for quite some time. My keyboard player Jesse Martinez has been with me the whole 25 years. He used to be with Elio Quintanilla back in the day. And then of course JB on drums, Angel on bass guitar, and I got recently. He's been with us for a couple of years now, and he just it's come full circle with the guitar players Quique Esquivel.
Yeah.
Quique Esquivel played with my dad, with David Lee and them guys. So
Yeah.
it's extra special for me because, like I said, it's come full circle that he was playing with my dad, and then he did the first 10 years or so with Emilio. When Emilio kicked off his career, and then he's played with so many other groups. And one day we needed a guitar player, and I said, "Hey, Kike, you want to help us out?" He goes, "Yeah, man, I'll help you out." And well, he hasn't left since. So but and I got Chris Arrocha on accordion, who was actually playing with Emilio when Emilio came back from the accident,
Yeah.
and was playing with him till he passed. So I got a bunch of experienced guys, and I'm very lucky to have the guys that I do have. And like I said, the chemistry, I mean, the rhythm section is great. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better one. And we laugh most of the time. There's no drama. There's no fighting. There's no how do I say, friction. That's a big deal with a lot of bands.
Yeah.
Not just Tejano bands, just bands in general. I mean, it's a big family. They're brothers. You're on the road. You get on each other's nerves. All of the above. So I can only imagine um, the bands that have females in them. I'm not gonna go there, but
Well, I was gonna say something because I keep harping on all our female artists because they never introduce their band members, and you did it unprompted, which is what guys do. They appreciate the people that are in the trenches with them, whereas the females just they come out here and go, "Oh, I sing," and the guys do whatever they do. They set up. So,
and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just figured that
I do.
I've heard a lot of horror stories of of groups, but hey, it is what it is, man. And like I said, I mean, I love everybody that's out there doing it still, and there's so many groups out there, man, that I feel don't get their due because a lot of people got stuck in the '90s. You know what I mean? Whether it's program directors, promoters, you name it, everybody that's keeping the industry, you know, tied down. It's like, come on, man, get over it. You know what I mean? The '90s are long gone, and yes, there was some great music created in the '90s. Even prior to that, the '80s, the '70s, there was great music,
Right.
and there's still great music today. It's just that I feel that there's people that there's people that create a certain clique out there, and if you're not part of that, then you don't get to play in the big gigs. You don't get to play, or you don't get to be seen. A lot of times, and you get the
Oh
same
my
bands over
God.
and over, playing at the same clubs, playing at the same concerts. And,
Thank you.
I
It's
mean, what do
just
you, I mean,
crazy
I'm
to
just
hear
talking
these
the truth, man.
words.
I'm talking the truth. If the shoe fits, I mean, it is what it is.
God.
You know what I mean? And I just,
We know.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I know you guys went through it.
Oh,
Back in the day with culturas. I mean, I can only imagine, man. I mean, hey, but you know what? I have a question for you.
uh-oh.
I heard a story a while back
Uh-oh.
that in Brownsville,
He's still there.
Yeah.
Brownsville, Texas, something happened with Jay Perez while he was with the Musicales, and you sat in with him. Is that true?
Oh yeah. I did two nights with David Lee, but it wasn't that something happened. He got married. It was when he got married for the
Oh,
first time.
okay.
And Jay invited me to the wedding, and then he said, "Hey man, my wife and I want to go on a honeymoon. Can you fill in for me for a couple of days?" And I was like, "Sure, okay." And we went to Brownsville, but it was me. There was two other guys, like Roel. Roel. What's Roel's last name? God,
Martinez?
Martinez?
yeah, Martinez. Roel Martinez, and the guy who was singing with Rodeo not Rodeo, with Texas Latino at the time. Not Ricky. Not Rick. It was another guy. But the three of us, we learned as many of the songs as we could, and we just kind of
Wow.
ping
Yeah,
pong.
because I was talking to this guy, this promoter, and he says, "Hey man, so one day I booked David Lee, and his dad came out of the bus and said, hey, you're gonna be surprised today." And he says, "What do you mean?" Well, Jay Perez. Now that you say that, he did say, he says Jay Perez is getting married, and we brought somebody else. He said, "Well, who the hell did you bring? All these people are expecting Jay to be here." He says, "Well, we got D from Culturas," and the guy says, "What? You got who?"
Club Genesis.
Yeah. He says, "Well," and he says, "Dude," he told me, "Dude," and then people ate it up, bro. So I can
Yeah.
only imagine how that show went, man.
It was great. And here's the thing, though, that afterwards, Tony, David's dad,
Yeah.
he wanted to know, so can we convince you to come join the band? I said,
Wow.
so, but I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But that was great, man. It was the Genesis Club, and that was the big club down there.
Yeah, man, in Brownsville.
Oh man, that was fun.
Wow.
De Salinas, California.
Yeah.
Cerro Juliana,
There you go. These are flashbacks.
Chente, one of the bands, I don't know, is it because you guys are cool or do promoters like to see you guys play together? I'm always seeing you headlining with Desperados. What's up?
Desperados,
Yeah.
you know what, man? We're just good friends.
Yeah.
And
It's a good energy.
I can never do a gig and without one of them, Mike Lee, saying, "Hey, don't leave. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet." Yeah. I tried to get away, but I can't. But, you know, they always like to do, you know, collabs and whatnot, and we always have a lot of fun. And you know, but yeah, man, those guys are just good friends, and you know what? Just it's actually just ironic that you know we play together a lot of gigs. Here lately, we've been doing this collab with Raulito and
Yeah.
Oscar T.
Yeah.
You know, they've got some new recordings coming out, and some of the guys that play in my band recorded with them. And you know, sometimes if they don't want to hire just one of us, we'll say, well, we got a little package here. You guys are interested in, and that usually works, you know. So, you know, you get 3 for 1, you know, so or 2 for 1, you know. So anyway, and so you know, it works out, man. So I'm actually gonna be. Where do you live in? Where do you live, Marcus?
I'm in Waco.
Waco. Okay, so we're gonna play. We're gonna play in Temple. I guess at the Longhorn, they're starting to do stuff again.
Oh yeah,
We're
heck
gonna be
yeah.
there in October, God willing. Yeah.
When you
I'll
gonna
make
come
that.
play Greeley, man?
Really, man. You know what? The last time I went to Colorado, I had a very interesting. You talked about promoters burning bands.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, last time I went to Colorado, that happened, but not because of the venue. It's because of the guy that the booking agent that booked us. So I'm not going to mention any names, but he is he's the son of one of the big giant Tejano artists. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh,
But I would love to go down there, man. We've been trying to go to Colorado for a while. So the last time we were in Colorado, we got a great response. It was at the Adams County Fair.
Adams County Fair, the state fair.
Yeah, we played there with a couple other bands with Raulito.
It was Raulito, not Little Joe.
Yeah, it was Little Joe, Raulito,
Yeah.
and myself, and I believe one of the groups from there played.
Yeah.
Uh,
The Latineers.
something. I don't remember.
Los Martinez brothers.
Something, but it was good. It was a great crowd. I mean, they received us very well, and I said, man, I gotta come back over here, man. You know, so maybe D can be a promoter for a weekend.
Yeah, right. Okay. Oh man, it's 8:34. I usually give at 8 o'clock. This is the Three Amigos show, which is a 1 hour show, but we have yet to ever have a 1 hour show. We're at an hour and a half now. And Chente, man, you're fun to talk to, and man, I'm still fanboying over you, man.
No.
I love you to
No, I
death.
want to thank you guys, man, for this opportunity. You know, I mean, it's we need more shows like this. You know, I had started a little thing called Anuncios a while back, and I would just, you know, get on there and get on my laptop, and then somebody said, hey, well, you need to buy this kind of mic, and you need to buy this and that and the other, and I'm like, hey, man, I don't know about all that crap. I just want to play music and, you know, talk little. You know, I would just talk about, you know, where we were going to be that weekend, or I would try to push a certain gig that we're going to be at, and basically that's all I would do. But man, with you know, having a part-time job and then trying to do this, I got real busy doing other things, and I just stopped doing it. But I do plan on coming back and hopefully, you know, making some noise. And I was actually working on an internet radio station. All these albums that I've been on, I want everybody to hear them. I want everybody to hear that I was on, you know, Intocable Sueños album. I was on Maz's Solo Para Ti album. So many records that I've done with David Lee, with Jay, with Ram. The stuff that I did with Culturas, the old stuff, the new stuff coming out. You know, the list goes on, right? So
A month. It'll take a month for you to
I
get
have a
through.
radio station where I could say, look, I played on this, I wrote this song, I produced this band, I did this. And it's not to be me. It's just to show you, hey, look, man, you know, here's something that, you know, I created or I was part of, just to you know, promote myself and promote what I've done.
So we're gonna come up with a new term now. Yeah, he's really chentazo. Welcome to Chentazo Radio.
There you go.
Well, if you ever get into wanting to do VJing or anything like that, or wanting to be a part of any show, let us know. Hey, we need you.
Man, Chente, watch out. Juan will talk you into anything. How do you think you got Marcus and I trapped here, dude?
I was gonna say, man, how did y'all become the Three Amigos?
Thanks to the pandemic.
It's Juan. Juan, do you realize Juan and I have never met? we've never met. We've been working long distance, and he's my boss, so but I haven't met him yet.
Wow.
I've met Chente before, and of course I know Marcus, for a long time. I've never met D. I've only had one interaction with him when he was Culturas, and probably one of his last shows that I was hearing. I was like, wow, really one of his last shows, 4th of July in Houston. And I think that was probably their last show then, and I was grateful.
How was your grito? How was your grito, Juan?
Kevin kicked my ass, like you said, and Kevin kicked my ass. They were performing, they were doing their thing. And, D likes to get the crowd interacted with the shows, of course. And he goes, who wants to throw a grito? And it was me and a bunch of my friends there. And they all pointed at me, of course. So we were all front stage right there, all fanboyed out, like he calls it and stuff. We're just shocked. And so they're all pointing at me. So he gives me the mic. He goes, here, throw a grito. I threw my grito, whatever. All right, he goes, okay, now we got Kevin Russell. He's going to throw a grito. Man, he threw his grito for like 3 minutes or something like that, out loud. And
Yeah, don't do that with Kevin, man.
Yeah, and he tells me, sorry, man, he kicked their ass. And then they kept on going with their show. That was the only interaction I had with D.
Wow.
But the reason I'm here, and the reason Marcus, I mean, I can't say no. If people ask me, hey, can you help me with the project? Can you do this for me? I always say yes.
I think it was 2017 or 2018.
D, can you lend me $20 now?
Yes.
I think you're the second person on our show that asked him that.
Oh, okay.
No, I think was it 2018. I think D finally showed his face on social media.
Yeah.
And I saw it and I was like, man, let me take a chance. Let me see if we get it for an interview. Sure enough, he responded back about a day later and said, yeah, we'll do an interview. So then from there on, man, we hit it off, and we did a couple interviews and wondered where he was at this whole time and what he's been up to. And then all of a sudden, them two collaborated. D and Marcus collaborated together on the song. And then somehow we all managed to talk about it, and we're just like, hey, let's do the podcast thing, And we did. It was a pandemic; everything shut down, and we had nothing else to do. So we just did a couple shows, and pandemic was over. These guys went back to work, and then later on, we just still had this chemistry, working together. So we decided, hey, let's do this Three Amigos thing again. And sure enough, it led up to this point.
Wow, well, that's cool, man. I just want to thank you guys again, man, for this moment to come on here. And like I said, I'm old school, man. So I stayed playing Centipede and Donkey Kong. And
Oh yeah.
I was playing Mario World.
Yeah, somebody said to me, hey man, have you ever played Assassin's Creed? And I'm like, what's that? He said, no, it's a video game, man. It's got this, that, and the other. And I said, well, the only video game I've ever played was Galaga and Dig Dug and
yeah, those are good games, man. Yeah,
dude, I've got all those games. I've got all those games on the Wii. I've got every Mario made up to Mario 9. So
wow.
Ernie Gonzalez says, D, we will be in Greeley September 7th.
Dude,
all right.
We got to finish the album, Ernie.
we got to get Culturas out there, man. They said it was supposed to be released in May. I think we're a little past time already, man.
I've got to drive to Nashville.
May of 24.
There you go. We got everybody excited already, man. They're waiting for it.
It's going to be called Culturas Watch.
Chente, do you have a Roku TV?
I do.
You downloaded Tejano TV yet?
I haven't.
You need to download Tejano TV, man. You can watch
it. Because, again, somebody told me, download. I said, hell, I don't know how to do that.
Oh, my God.
Somebody in the house, help him.
I know, really.
But I was very proud of myself because I couldn't log on, and finally I figured it out. I typed in the whole deal, and then boom, I got on. I'm like, hey. All right.
I saw the message.
I did something from 2010 this week. Oh.
Is that a flip phone?
No, I don't.
I got a message from Chente an hour before the show that just said, help.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, hey, you did way better than Ram. Way better than Ram. Ram was pretty rough to get him going.
No, between him and Arturo, those were the two that were couldn't get it straight, man.
And we were live, yeah.
But before we go, I've got to hear two more impressions, dude. because everybody does a Roberto Belizo. Oh, D, let me tell you, man, because it happened to me too. Oh, my heart was broken. So everybody does Roberto, but not very many people could do Jay, and you do a perfect Jay Perez, man. So before we go,
and he was doing Ram too.
Yeah, he does. You do good impressions, man.
What? I can't think of anything.
Do primo.
No, so check it out. So when I got out of the Jay's band, I said, "Hey, man, there's this kid. Man, I forget his name, man. I'm getting bad at that. He was from Houston, and I said, "Hey, man, there's this kid. He wants to talk to you. He wants to, audition for the drummer. Does he play like you?"
That was good. That's good.
Yeah.
That was good.
Oh man,
ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are watching, of course we have Mr. Chente Barrera. We're actually going to have 2 shows next week, and we're excited for one of them, but we'll leave that one for the last one. But we do have a couple of artists that are going to be on the show with us. One is an artist, and the other one is an actress who's going to be with us on the show next Wednesday. So let's see who it is.
Next week on the Three Amigos Show Special Edition, we talk to award-winning singer-songwriter Danny Farias and actress-model-producer Brandy Lopez as they discuss upcoming projects like their new variety show set in San Antonio, their celebration of Mas Chingon Radio's 10th anniversary party in December, and the new film Tamale Season making its world premiere. That's next Thursday right here on the Three Amigos Show Special Edition.
It's actually going to be next Thursday.
I have to make a comment here.
What?
That I don't think that's Brandy Lopez.
No, it is. That was Brandy. I know. I wasn't sure. I made this commercial this afternoon, so it was like 2 hours before the show, and but she was on the King of Queens. She was on General Hospital, and so I went to her fan page.
So I'm like, man, that don't look like Brandy Lopez. That
doesn't look like her.
I got the picture from her. So yeah, it's Brandy Lopez. Yeah,
okay. But yeah, she's coming out with a new show called Tamale Season. I'm really shady on the details. I really don't know exactly what it is.
It's about an immigrant family and their trials and tribulations during the Christmas season from all their white neighbors.
Okay, and then I know they're going to get picked up by a network, and I think they're going to give us the rights to play the show here on Tejano TV. So hopefully we get that. And then I know they're working on a brand new, kind of like a hee-haw version, Tejano version of hee-haw type of thing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be in San Antonio. They're gonna be inviting artists to come out and perform and do little skits on there.
You guys watched Tejano America?
Yeah,
I did a hee-haw thing with Raulito.
I remember that.
Yeah. That was crazy, man.
So this is
I cannot believe we did that crap. We did it.
But this is going to be like that. It's going to be an hour variety show. They're going to invite artists and people. They're going to do little skits and stuff. Yeah. And that's also going to be filmed and it's going to be played here on Tejano TV. And I know that we're going to be working on Mas Chingon Radio's 10th anniversary party this coming December. We're still waiting on confirmation on location and stuff. And we're going to invite everybody to come out there and just enjoy. It's going to be free for everybody, so come out there and enjoy.
And the good thing is that we got Chente Barrera y el Taconazo band. They're going to be playing for free. That's good. That's that he donated.
We don't have a flat on the way there.
Oh, wow. He's got his excuses lined up already.
So Chente couldn't make it, but we got 15 of his CDs that we could just play them all night long.
So,
but that
is for being our guest tonight, man. We really appreciate it.
Thank you once again, everybody that tuned in, everybody that left messages, to everybody out there, man. I mean, I know this ain't gonna be the last time that I'm on here, and we're gonna do a new show called the Four Amigos.
All right,
we're upgrading.
And we'll do more impressions of Tejano artists.
Wow.
We need to get together with Danny and Brandy and just start doing a bunch of skits and impressions with everybody.
Wow.
But we do have another great comedian who's going to be joining us next Wednesday, and I'm very excited about this one. Go ahead and check this one out real quick.
This week on the Three Amigos Show.
He's a Latino comedy icon. You know him as Paul Rodriguez.
All your prayers in Spanish. I don't think God speaks Spanish, huh?
Tune in August 30th to see the one and only Paul Rodriguez here on the Three Amigos Show.
We shall sing. We shall gather at the river to prevent the Mexicans from crossing.
Paul Rodriguez, live and in color.
Right here on the Three Amigos Show.
That is going to be awesome, man. We get him on the show. Hopefully he doesn't cancel on us the last minute and get a flat tire either.
They had a flat tire on the plane. Oh.
But man, everybody knows Paul Rodriguez, all the comedy, Born in East LA, Emilio Juan, comedy relief back in the early 80s.
He was the comedy.
Yeah, he did a bunch of stuff, man. So I can't wait to hear all the stories and stuff. So this will be awesome. Paul Rodriguez.
It'll be almost as funny as this show.
He's got a lot of stories. But we did have one more video, so let's go ahead and play that one real quick. And I think this one is from Chente Barrera's 20th anniversary, and this is the last medley they did before the show ended. So let's go ahead and check this one out.
Bienvenido. Oye. Paloma, ¿qué andas haciendo tan solitita? Que si andas buscando amores, aquí estoy yo. Paloma, chiquito de oro, chiquitita, con ganas de darte un beso y mucho amor, decirte cosas bonitas junto al oído y hacer que te den brinquitos el corazón y luego amarrar tu cuerpo con estos brazos y así entregarnos juntos y al amor. Déjame que yo te diga y hacerte sentir muchos besos y amor. En este mundo es bueno vivir sin cariño, vivir sin amor. Otra dice, oye, grabaciones, a todo amor sin para todos ustedes. No me vuelvo a enamorar, baby, oye. Enamorar, porque siempre salgo engañado. Todo el tiempo se me va ese amor que me han robado. Ya me cansé de tantas mentiras y los sufrimientos de dolor. Sé que voy a hacer en adelante, porque tengo miedo a la traición. No me vuelvo a enamorar, nada mi valor. No me vuelvo a enamorar, porque ya son muchas veces que mi corazón se muere por un cruel y malo amor. Dice, más música de nuestros inicios. Dices que lloran celos por mí, dices que por mí te mueres de amor. Solo una caricia quiero de ti, para que retorne a mi alma el calor. Tus celos fueran solo en verdad, quitarás de sufrir el dolor. Para mí sería la felicidad, porque al cielo está el amor. De tu querer llevo la excepción, porque sé que me quieres. Te llevo en mi corazón, calmando mis quereres. Tus celos fueran celo en verdad, te quitarás de sufrir el dolor. Para mí sería la felicidad, porque al cielo está el amor. Oh yeah.
All this time you've been saying JB, and I didn't think anything of it. Texas Latino JB.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Man, you
Okay.
know the one medley I was looking for and to come out that clear was the 80s medley. I love that medley.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite track of yours, the medley and everything else, but it wasn't one that was clear like that, professional, and I wanted to get that one so bad.
Oh yeah, that was hard to find.
Yeah.
Hey, Chente, as much as I hate to say it though, as long as I've known you, I still look at you and I still see a little kid, man. Like,
It's okay.
I
It's
feel like
okay.
how parents look at their own children, they never grow up. You will always be a little kid to me, man.
Yeah, it's
Can't
all
help
good.
it.
You're not the only one that tells me that. Ram tells me that all the time too.
Chente, I know you know as an artist, you meet a lot of people, and it may be 10 seconds that you talk to them, but you make an impression on them that they never forget. You know, you're at an explosion and you were walking by yourself. I don't know why, and maybe 2014, and I went up to you, shook your hand, told you I was in a band, and told you I was going to cover Paloma the next day.
Wow.
And you looked at me and said, "Oh, really? What's the name of your band?" I said, "Grupo Sistema." And you go, "It's a good name." And you walked off. You walked off. I went and told the band, "Dude, I talked to Chente." So, I mean, 2014 or 15, one of those
Wow.
years. Yeah, I went and told the band, man. I was like, "Dude, I talked to Chente, man. I told him we were covering the song. Hope he didn't show up."
Damn.
Yeah.
So hey, Marcus, how come Chente's never played with the two black guys that are in Tejano, man?
He's
That's
racist.
maybe it's a race thing. I don't
He's
know.
racist. Hey, we need to cover Hot for Teacher, and then he'll play with it.
Hell yeah.
Oh man. David Lee Rodriguez says, "Orale, brother Chente." Awesome
Órale.
artist.
Hell yeah.
All right. Let's see. Ernie says, "I never said the album was coming out on a certain date."
Wow, dude. Man, 2027 is going to come around. The long-awaited Culturas album.
Wow.
Wow. Jay,
That's
Chente,
crazy.
I know you got to go to bed, man, because you're past your bedtime about now. You got school tomorrow.
But we want to thank you so much for joining us, man. It's been a pleasure and an honor to have you on our show.
Thank you guys, man, once again, and we'll do this again soon. And maybe when I'm ready to do my radio thing and whatnot, I'll give you guys a call, and maybe y'all can help me with some of this video stuff that I don't understand. This
Don't
is like
worry,
Chinese.
I'll be handling it.
That's the man right there.
There you go. You heard that, ladies and gentlemen. Chente Barrera is going to be our new VJ.
He's trying to get you under contract. He said
we locked him in. We locked them in already. We got Chente Barrera.
We'll be part of Tejano TV.
There you go.
Yes,
Make sure you guys download Tejano TV on all your Roku devices right now, man.
There you go.
We
Thank
got
you
3
guys once
channels.
again, man, and we'll see you guys soon, man. We'll be talking.
Stay with us after the show. We need to get
Got to do a drop.
All right.
But yeah, make sure you guys check out Tejano TV. We got 3 channels. We got all the new videos. We got all the old school videos, and you got 24 hours of our crazy asses. If you got time to spare, you got 24 hours in the day to kill. Just hang out with us. Just hang out with us. Cool. We got a bunch of laughs. But thank you guys so much for joining us. I want to thank my baby Lila Cervantes, Lila Lisa Promotions, our Archie's Homestyle Burger here in Cotulla, Texas, Mr. Danny Farias, Mar Azul Tequila, the new face of tequila. Thank you so much for sponsoring us. And of course, Janie's Record Shop in San Antonio, Texas. Chente, happy early birthday, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it, man.
On the 31st.
Yes, sir.
I just saw it in the magazine earlier. We got one Nuestra Música Monthly magazine. And I saw your name on there. I was like, hey, happy birthday, happy early birthday.
Right on, man.
What do you get for your birthday?
I don't know. Maybe a teddy bear or something. I don't know.
Good night, Chente.
Yeah.
So,
I'll
ladies
get
and
a new
gentlemen,
Nintendo. Is that still a Atari or something?
Sorry.
get those little bootleg ones that you can put all the games on them.
There you go.
I've got an actual Atari system sitting right over here. Man. It's got all the Atari games. Every Atari game.
Wow.
I have one of those bootleg ones that have the emulators and stuff in them and the ROMs, and that's awesome thing.
No, this is actually made by Atari. It's still in the box and everything, so it's cool. I'll show you next time.
Nice.
Until then,
ladies and gentlemen, we have the legendary Mr. Chente Barrera with us. Thank you so much, Chente, for being with us. I am El Guy, Juan Mendoza.
I'm the Destructor.
Marcus Daniels, Midnight Mariachi.
And we'll see you next time. We'll see you next week, right here on the Three Amigos Show.
I don't want to.
Next time on the Three Amigos Show.
He's in the house, America's Latino funny man, Paul Rodriguez.
All your prayers in Spanish. I don't think God speaks Spanish, huh?
Tune in August 30th to find out why he's so passionate about Tejano music.
We shall sing. We shall gather at the river to prevent the Mexicans from crossing.
Tune in and see Paul Rodriguez next time on the Three Amigos Show. Brought to you by Mas Chingon Radio, LilaLisaPromotions.com, musician Danny Farias, Mar Azul Tequila, taste the new face of tequila, Archie's Homestyle Burgers in Cotulla, Texas, Janie's Record Shop in San Antonio, Texas, and Tejano TV. You can view the Three Amigos Show on all your favorite streaming platforms and on all your Roku devices. The Three Amigos Show.